right, so we just wrapped up module number 2 in the Coursera course, Learning How to Learn. So module number 3 is Procrastination and Memory. The first half of the module, we go through tackling procrastination, zombies everywhere, surf is up, process versus product, harnessing your zombies to help you, juggling life and learning, summing up procrastination, and retrieval practice. Then we move on into memory, and we've got diving deeper into memory, what is long-term memory, creating meaningful groups, memory palace technique, summing up memory, and retrieval practice. This module is a little bit longer. We've got about an hour worth of video, and it does take a little bit longer than the videos per se because you still have the quizzes in between. Sometimes you want to take a little bit of break in between the videos. They're a little bit dense. So I definitely schedule a little bit extra time in terms of what you expect to get through the module than just what you see for the video length. I'm going to dive in here and see what I find. I'll come back to you with my report. All right, so I'm back. Just completed module number 3 in the Coursera course, Learning How to Learn. And the first thing to talk about is procrastination, which is a killer for most everyone. The usual technique in fending off procrastination is to use blunt force willpower, which they say is ineffective because your willpower is fleeting. And if you need willpower to overcome procrastination, which is a habitual process, then you're just going to deplete yourself of your willpower. What they say to fend off procrastination is to create habits. When you're creating a habit, you've got a routine, your belief, you've got a cue and a reward. So really they say the only part that you should use your willpower is at the cue. They also recommend, in order to tackle tasks, to create a weekly to-do list. And each night before you go to bed, create a to-do list for the next day. They also say it's a good idea to mix up your tasks on that to-do list. So if you have tasks that are some in the focused mode of thinking and some in the diffuse mode of thinking, if you vary them up, it kind of gives you a break from one type of thinking to the other. They say eat your frogs first, which means get the toughest activities out of the way, and then that way you'll have smooth sailing throughout the rest of the day, knowing you've got your toughest activity out of the way already. Talking about memory in the second half of the module, they give you some memory techniques, and they say visual cues are very strongly associated with memory recall. So they say if you're creating a visual, something should be memorable and the idea should be repeated. They also give several techniques, like using the palace technique. You can have a familiar place in your mind, like your childhood home, and you can place things visually within there and then allow yourself to remember that way. You kind of get a familiar place that is already in your long-term memory, so you're able to kind of connect directly to that long-term memory. So that is the module number 3 in a nutshell. They cover a lot of different varying techniques and really talk about procrastination, which I think is a killer for a lot of people. They kind of tackle it from a more scientific perspective, which kind of gives you confidence that you can overcome it with the right methods and the right approach. And then using different memory techniques, some will be applicable to some people, others will find certain ones not very useful. I think this module was pretty beneficial. It opened up a lot of new ideas and ways of thinking about things, ways of tackling things directly, like procrastination and memorization. It's definitely worthwhile if you're getting into studying anything. It gives you a lot of different concepts and ideas. It's a broad survey. This module gets a lot of different topics into the back of your mind and then allows you to kind of navigate through and see what works and what doesn't. So if you haven't watched it yet, definitely recommend going through the videos. This one is a little bit longer, so do make sure you give yourself a bit more time to get through this module. So now we're on to the final module.